Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Rebel Racing Network. I'm your host, Eddie Smith. We are in Atlanta for the Goatlocker Retro Cup Series. And man, I can't tell you if I'm excited or nervous. I don't know. We got 43 drivers here tonight at Atlanta. 43 Chevy Monte Carlo SS's, 4 Thunderbirds. It's going to be a wild one. So go ahead, if you got seat belts in your chairs, come on, go ahead and buckle them up, get them all tightened up, because it's going to be a wild one, and you're going to need to be buckled up, especially because we're about to kick the fires and light the tires. That's what we're doing tonight. So qualifying is almost over. Got about a minute. So let's talk about what we expect out of this race. 43 drivers at Atlanta. These cars are going to be all over the place. Last season in Atlanta, very, very messy, so we kind of expect something similar tonight, but who knows? Maybe these guys will surprise me, and we'll have some clean green flag racing, but it's going to be a very, very exciting race nonetheless. Is anybody going to be able to take down Ronnie Osmer as we look at the point standings as they stand, and you see that Ronnie Osmer is taking not a huge lead, but a very nice lead so far. 535 points with those 2 wins. So guys are going to have to step up, find a little bit of speed, find a little bit of metal, and run him down before he runs away with it. So top 15, though, looking really healthy. A lot of guys who can come out of this and get a win tonight. Might be a war of attrition. Might be something you have to hang around and be there at the end. Save your tires, save your fast repair, save your car. All that going to be important. So getting almost done with qualifying, and we'll get the grid. You'll see the checker flag is up right there. Let's go ahead and bring up the grid as soon as it opens up, because we got a lot of cars to get to. Starting grid on the pole, Jason Warren with a 32.857. Ronnie Osmer there in second. Row number 2, Andy Kurtz and Dakota Camper. Row number 3, Jonah Colbert and Zach Wittstein. Row number 5, I'm going to forget the rows for too long, so we're just going to just keep going from here. Starting 7th is Jared Reid and Justin Lumpkin. Logan Sturgeon, Chris Reese round out your top 10. Ryan Pendleton hasn't been here in a week or so. Glad to see him back, starting 11th with Travis Beaver on his outside. Ray Page starting 13th. Daniel Cunningham starting 14th. Steven Gibson starting 15th. Mickey Isaac starting 16th. Todd Schott and Tyler Rice. Matt Telder, Jesse Necula. Brandon Wallace, Steve Loving. Brandon Pollock, and nice car there, Charlie Gates. So we'll have to get you next week. Starting 24th. Let's move a little bit quicker. Keith Taylor, Jonathan Cofield, William Griffith, Sam Wittstein. These guys are starting to grid up now. Cindy Taylor, Charles Stevens, your top 30. We got more. Let's keep going. Jason Lottridge starting 31st, and Aaron Sayer in 32nd. Hemi Girardini starting 33rd. Mike Steffen starting 34th. Chuck Phelps starting 35th. Josh Oswald starting 36th. Matt Clemens starting 37th. Kyle Roberts 38th. Vernon Reese starting 39th. And Phil Hitman Monzo starting 40th. Justin Wickoff starting 41st. Keith Littenwalker starting 42nd. And that's where we end, I think. So, big grid. Yeah, thank you, Kevin Kender. I appreciate that. Very excited to show that off tonight as the grid starts to get rolling. Very excited to show that off. We'll get everybody's cars in there by next week that we missed, and we'll have everybody instead of having people's faces. But, hey, we got to see some of their faces tonight. And so let's go ahead and get this intro turned off, and let's get ready to go racing. Let's get our tower up. That way we can see where everybody started. Look, guys, it's going to be 43 people on the track tonight. If I cycle through them real quick, you'll see it's going to be a large field to go through. So I'm going to do my best to get every one of you on camera a little bit, but good grief. Look how many cars, just so many. So, going to be tough. We're going to try to get all the action as much as we can. But we are coming down to take the green flag. 75 laps tonight, unlimited tires, one fast repair. So you're going to have to take care of those tires because you want to also take care of that track position. Something that we don't see very often. 43 cars on the track. You cannot just give up track position on a willy-nilly. So going to have to be careful. But first start going to be on green. Jason Warren here to challenge Ronnie Osmer, who has started up front every race so far, basically. As he gets the pole, and here's a Chuck Pegleg pole award winner. And they go down the front straightaway, get the green flag. As far as I can tell, we're still under green. Praise the Lord. And then somebody runs right over the back end of Ronnie Osborne. He goes down to the bottom. So it looks like Andy Kurtz, Ronnie Osborne spinning out. So our points leader, guy who's won a ton of races, already in trouble. We are still green, though. So let's see if I can catch Ronnie Osborne as he is falling through the field. He falls all the way back. Looks like he's going to settle in the 21st position. That was his teammate, Dakota Camper, that gets into the back of him. So already our points leader going to have some trouble, have a lot of work to do as we get back through the field. But your leader right now, Jason Warren. Let's go back here to some of this. Oh, as Jonah Colbert is getting loose. Guys already showing they're having a little bit of issues keeping the car straight. But, hey, you know what? I bet y'all would like to hear some of these cars go around the track. How about that? Come on. All right. Let's get back to the action tonight as we watch Jonah Colbert, who just got loose. Was able to save it. What a really good job. So already showing a lot of speed. As you see Zach Wittstein making a move on Dakota Camper there for second place. Jason Warren's out to a good, healthy second place. Then you see Jonah Colbert way up top, running that top line. Well, I tell you what, these guys are doing a great job. 3 laps, no cautions, 43 cars on the field. I tell you what, it's time for a speed cam. Let's go watch them. All right, man. Ooh, that's awesome. That gives me chills, and I'm watching from the broadcast booth. So, man, well, I tell you what, I'm extremely pleased about how well the guys have gotten going, being patient, taking their time. Had a couple guys already get a little bit loose, so gonna have to be careful and watch that. As Zach Wittstein gets real loose with Dakota Camper all over his bumper, and Jared Reid all over the back end of Dakota Camper. Nowhere to go, backs off like he should. So side by side, you see Dakota way up top, making that Larson line work. But here comes Jared Reid, gonna try to find some racing room there in the middle. Looks like Jared Reid is ready to go up there and retake this points lead as Ronnie Osmer is falling all the way back to 17th. But look at this group of guys. Kevin Kindaaaar, Mike Hasty, look at this. What these guys are doing, putting on a show already. 6 laps out of 75. We got a long way to go, but guys are playing nice. And I'll tell you what, let's go on board if we can with who is this? Jared Reid. We'll see what it's like as we go around this track. Atlanta, you can run all over the place, and these cars specifically work pretty much anywhere. So just wherever you can get her to stick. You see Jared working that bottom, being patient on the throttle, making sure he can get a good run, trying to find any way to get a run off the corner. Let's see what 3 and 4 looks like. See, he enters in high right behind. You see the yaw of Dakota Camper's number 9 machine. Off the corners, he's getting a little bit loose through the middle. Scrubs a little bit of speed. See Jared able to get back onto his back bumper. So these guys are fighting it out for second place. Second place is hot right now as Jared Reid trying to make his way and see if anybody can find Jason Warren, who I tell you what is really checked out in that 32 machine. Look how many cars are back there. They're all nose to tail. Pretty interesting to see. It's guys are all over their top, their bottom. Oh, yellow flag is out. Looks like Logan Sturgeon. Something happened with him. Let's go and see what happened. Oh, that's not Logan Sturgeon. We see him in the pits. Let's rewind it. And I apologize. It's very, very difficult to find everybody through this field. Let's see what happened to Logan. As he is trying to get under Lumpkin there, and Lumpkin just comes down off the wall as Logan was getting up under him and just kind of tail slaps him a little bit coming off the corner. Let's watch it from the far chase view and just get a good idea. Oh, it was just barely. You know, it just that's tough right there. It's hard to say one or the other. You know, Justin Lumpkin is trying to make sure I have that name right. Yeah, Justin was just trying to get the car off, you know, make sure he doesn't get into the wall. There's a car blinking and just ever so slightly gets into Logan. So really tough to say there, but just hard racing as we get into the pit lane and look at what we got here. Guys, just a massive amount of cars. Everybody coming down pit lane. It is a damn parking lot in pit lane. Good grief. As everybody's going to come home and get those tires because you're not going to be able to last. These tires are probably going to get eaten up on this track. It's probably hot, relatively warm, and you're not going to want to gamble too much. After 10 laps, those tires are probably well into the 80s, and if you hadn't been driving it well, could be worse. So you're going to have to take care of those cars. But let's check out front. Let's see who did some strategy to try to find some track position, which is a smart move. If you feel like you've been saving your tires enough and you feel like that you've been taking care of your car, everybody comes down pit road. These four drivers up front, Matt Clement, Jason Lottridge, Vernon Reese, and Mike Steffen, all stayed out to try to get a little bit of track position. Looks like Matt Clement, though, is going to come down pit road along with Vernon Reese. So those guys just trying to, I guess, pit with so they end up at the back. I'm not real sure. Interesting strategy. Seemed like it'd be better to come down, but maybe they feel a little unsafe in that pack. So looks like Jason Lottridge and Mike Steffen in that 669 car are going to be your top two. I'm not really sure what happened to Steve Loving. If we can go back here and try to find what exactly happened with him. See if we can go back and find Steve. Well, I have no idea, y'all. I don't know what happened to Steve. I guess we could pull him up here and ask him. Well, hell, let's do that now. Maybe I don't know if he might be upset, but we'll try to pull him up here and see if we can figure out what's happening. Hey, Steve, this is Eddie in the booth. You got me? Hey, well, we see you're a lap down there, and just trying to figure out, man, what happened? What happened to get you kind of behind there? What happened? I got you. So it's kind of gave you a little penalty or something? Okay. Well, all right. Well, just trying to figure out what happened because we saw you up here racing. All of a sudden, you're behind the 8-ball there. So just wanted to see what was going on with you. Well, good luck to you, Steve. Yeah, 10-4. All right. Well, good luck. All right. Well, that's one way to find out. You just pull him up here and ask him. And so it looks like he had some sort of issue pitting early or something, and so now he gonna have to catch up to the back of the field, but he should be on the lead lap, so good for him. All right, well, lap 12. So what are we going to see here? I'm a little nervous as we've got some guys on old tires. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, I got that fixed for us. All right, thank you, Kinder. Yeah, he said he pitted a little bit early, so. But pace car getting ready to pull off. Let's see what's going to happen with these old tires. Jason Lottridge gets a good jump. That's what he's going to need to do. And Mike Steffen, unfortunately, not the same as guys are going to go 3 wide. And I tell you what, I can already tell it's not going to end well. We're going to stay right here as we watch these guys try to make it. Nobody's going to want to give an inch. As, wow, you could definitely see the new tires and how much different they're going to make as those two are headed to the back. Got to be careful. You want to save as much position, but you have to understand the disadvantage that you're in. And don't race too hard. Unfortunately, it's a bad call. You can just tell. It's going to be tough. After a few laps, I think the tires are settled. You see Lottridge try to come down in front of Jonah, but the tire difference is just too strong. You just got to give a couple laps for those tires to wear out a little bit and kind of equalize. And they'll be able to start trying to move back forward. But definitely tell 10-lap tires is not, you don't want to stay out on those. We'll check in on our points leader and pole position winner, and that's Ronnie Osmer there in that 0-2 machine. And he is working the outside trying to make up all those positions. He dropped back to 21st, but he is up to 11th now. So making a lot of moves. You see he's making that high line really, really work. As these two guys on old tires are now side by side. That's going to be tough as it's really going to get bottled up here. As Ronnie Osmer not worried about that at all. Going to take it 3 wide. Say, well, if you're going to stay out on old tires, you better hang on to it. Jason Lottridge coming down the track a little bit. Needs to stay on that outside wall, especially 3 wide. So definitely hate that feeling as a driver. See him going to get in the wall a little bit. Hate that feeling because you know that you see everybody going around you. But hey, you put that in the memory bank, you know that strategy is not going to work next time. And but let's go back up front. We got a 3-way battle between Jason Warren and Zach Wittstein. Jared Reid. Jared Reid, our Daytona winner. Jared's showing a lot of speed early. It's made up a couple spots, 3 or 4, the same as Zach. So Zach and Jared really showing a lot of speed early, trying to take advantage of Ronnie Osborne being behind the 8 ball just a little bit. So got sort of a 3-car breakaway. Just see how much they're going to want to battle. See Jared Reid get way out of the groove, trying to find a little bit of grip up there, find a little space. He's going to get a good run off the corner. Look at that run he got. Wow, this is fantastic, y'all. I'm so thrilled. Jared Reid going to peek up to the outside of Zach Wittstein in that Superflow number 3 machine. So right now, 4 Chevrolets up front, 3 kind of working together. Dakota Camper in that NWO scheme. Black car back there. He is making his way up to the front. And Jonah Colbert following suit. Now, I guess that's technically a Chevrolet because he's got Lumina on the on the front end of that car. So I guess the Chevrolet top 5, y'all. And 6 and 7. Let's find the first actual Ford. As caution is out as I'm screwing around Daniel Cunningham, the first Ford out there. Let's go back and see. It looks like it's Justin Wyckoff and Tyler Rice back here in that 24. You see that green and white City Chevrolet gets into the wall and is going to come down, and just Tyler Rice nowhere to go and collects 2 cars. And that's going to bring out the caution. Luckily, the whole field didn't get taken out there, so that's good. So those 2 drivers get back rolling, going to get in and get repairs, get a fast repair, whatever they might need it. That wreck wasn't too bad. Maybe a little tough for Tyler on the right front, but not too bad. But it looks like Jared Reid was able to get around Zach Wittstein there, so he moves up to 2nd place. We go back live and see what guys are going to do. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to stay out as we watch the pit lane. As you see, pretty much everybody going to come down. Let's see if Jason Lottridge and 7 stay out again. Literally, everybody saw them guys go straight to the back, and everybody said, well, we're just going to come on in and get 4 tires. And it looks like Logan Sturgeon might be flirting with the idea of staying out. He is. I don't know if he's a lap down. Let's see what these guys are lap. They are, so the 3 lap down cars have to wait. But everybody going to come down pit road. So 10 looks like if we go 10 laps and have a caution, everybody's going to come down pit road. But I got to tell you guys, if you're watching, you got to be impressed. 43 drivers in a car that's very difficult on a track that last season made me question my existence as we watch this race off of pit road here. Looks like everybody comes out about where they came in. But last season at this track was just a mess, and I think we had a lot of guys still really getting used to the car. We've got a lot of veterans on track this season. Guys have really figured this thing out, and I know we've had a couple cautions in 20 laps, but I tell you what, there's been some great green flag racing, and guys really trying to find speed up top, in the middle, on the bottom. It's a lot of fun. So it'll be hard to have a whole bunch of commercials with all these drivers having these long green flag runs. There's a lot to talk about. Man, there's so many people. Let's try to go through the field. Let's find some people that have moved up. You know, Mike Steffen was able to hold a little bit there on those old tires. He's still running 15th. Jason Lottridge fell back to 26th, but he's still up 5 positions where he started. Josh Oswald up 9 positions in 27th position. Kyle Roberts also having a great run so far, up 9 spots as well. So guys have starting to make moves. But I tell you what, there's a couple big movers, so I'll highlight both of them. Charles Stevens, man, what a great run for him so far. Up 18 spots, up to 12. Man, this guy's been wanting to race here in this series. He was able to race last week and this week, and I tell you what, I see now why he wants to be in here so bad is because he can definitely drive the hell out of these cars. Up 18 spots, so we're going to be watching him. But William Griffin in that 12 pink machine, he is up 20 spots. Started 27th, and he is running in 7th. Man, what a great run to the front. We got Chuck Pegleg Felts in here. Was able to get in tonight. He was telling me today I was down in the garage talking with him, and he said, "Man, I'm excited. I think these guys are fantastic, but I think I can beat them. I think this car ain't nothing for me. I got arms the size of boa constrictors, and this car, I can wheel this thing." So he said he's got a lot of confidence. He's not worried. He thinks he can go in here and win it. And that's what he told me, you know. And I like the confidence. He said, I think this field's a bunch of chumps, and he's here to show everybody up. So glad to have him as we're doubled up, getting ready to go back green. Jason Warren back on the point after after falling back to third for about 1 turn, as those old tires just did not hold up. So lap 22 of 75, gonna go back green. Let's see if the intensity is gonna pick up now, or guys gonna continue to be patient, showing a lot of restraint, a lot of great racing, side by side, 3 wide action, guys keeping it together. Let's see if we can continue that, as Jason Warren looking to get a great start here, try to get out front. Green flag is out. Jason Warren gets a pretty good start. Zach kind of sleeping. You see Dakota Camper all over the back bumper. Gives him a little shove. That's going to catch him back up. Jason Warren has a preferred line. Going to go down that middle lane. You see him working that. Jared Reid going to take advantage of that a little bit and go down to the bottom. Is Jared going to be able to hold it off the corner? So far, so good. 3 wide. Ronnie Osmer back here for 4th. Going to go low. Dakota Camper going to back out of that. But let's go back to the lead as Jared Reid trying to work on the inside. But you see that inside not working. Looks like Jason Warren, Zach Wittstein kind of working together on that outside, getting the run off the corner, able to hold off the advance of Jared Reid. But look here, Ronnie Osmer already up to 4th place. We thought we was going to be done with him just a little bit. I wouldn't have to talk about him, but damn it if he ain't back up here racing these guys. as he's going to look down low, trying to find maybe a little gap there. 3 wide. Is it too early? I don't know if it's early or too early for him. Jared Reid shuts the door a little bit, so Ronnie Osborne really nowhere to go right now. Man, I hate to be up front for too long, but man, I tell you what, this is hard to turn away from as these guys are wheeling these cars, trying to find some speed. Oh, we got a crash or somebody. I saw some smoke. Check on Jason Lottridge. He said he crashed. So Jason Lottridge struggling there. You see that smoke again. I'm not really sure where that's from. Let's go back up front. It's holy shit, these guys. I got to get amped up, y'all. I got to dig down deep, find some of that energy that I'm lacking. As we watch these guys, oh, caution is out. Well, it looks like my snitch box is not telling me who's wrecking. So we'll go back and just kind of rewind it from here and see if we can find out what happened. It looks like Ray Page in the 41 red and white car, and Mike Steffen just comes down and just kind of clips him, and then Steffen comes back up into the track. I can't see who that is. It looks like Ryan Pendleton, just nowhere to go. Sort of an innocent bystander as Justin Wyckoff comes in and just plows through. Let's go back in his view and see what in the world they were wrecking all the way in front of him. What's going on? Man, I don't know what's going on with that sound. Good grief. Yeah, we see the wreck. We see it. Trying to get on the brake, slam into the wall. Let off the brake. Yep. Come to a complete stop. Probably the best idea there. I don't know. But I'm not in the race. I'm in the broadcast booth, so I can't really say. But anyway, going back to pit road. Of course, we know unlimited tires. Guys are going to come in every time and get those fresh tires. We haven't had that many laps, so we'll see if anybody decides to stay out and get that track position. Yeah, Kevin Kenner says infield barbecue smoke. I think you're right. I think those guys are getting it going down there. Got a couple guys nursing their wounds. I tell you what, let's go ahead and let's get our logos of our great sponsors. Let's talk about them real quick. Is Goatlocker Racing, of course, the title sponsor. Always proud to wave their banner. Patrick Dravick, Jamie Barkus, and then that whole team. Man, so thankful for all their support, what they do. The Veterans 48. They do so much work for the veterans that we don't know about. They are all in on that type of stuff, and man, I tell you what, they do some great work. So definitely want to shout them out. Of course, Valvoline. Definitely thank them for being our main sponsor this season. Of course, shout out Flexible Freight Solutions. Davey Jones doing a little bit of race control tonight. He's the co-commissioner for this series and doing a great job of keeping these guys in check. I think he's probably the reason why we are going green. So definitely want to shout them out. And let's see. I don't really think we have anything to give out. Of course, we've already given out the Chuck Pegleg Pole Award to Ronnie Osmer, so congratulations to him. Let's go check out front and let's see what guys have decided to do. Now we saw, and I know they've seen it not work, but you just don't know what guys have been doing with their tires, been trying to take care of them. So Steve Loving stays out, Chuck Pegleg Felt stays out, and so does Keith Keen Taylor. And Logan Sturgeon stayed out as well, looks like. So guys really playing this track position game. Jason Warren, our leader, is currently running 7th. So he's going to have some work to do, and I think these guys behind him who are running trying to fight for the lead, just the top 5 you could throw a blanket over, and they're going to have a lot of work to do as these guys are trying to position themselves as we're almost to halfway. You're going to cross the line here for lap 30. So not too much left in this race. if we keep this trend up of about 10 laps and then a caution, you know, the next couple runs, you really want to try to get yourself up to the front, because if you have a bad pit strategy or make the wrong call, you could end up in the 40th real quick. So Steve, we got 43 tonight, so I don't know if we missed some people, if everybody got in who wanted to, but we got 43 drivers in the field. But I tell you what, Phoenix was a mess, but tonight not so much, man. Fantastic racing so far. Guys have been putting on a show. The wrecks that we've seen happen, nothing just crazy, just some racing accidents, and these guys doing a great job. So let's see who on these older tires can hang. I don't know if some guys may have taken 2 tires. I want to say maybe Travis Beaver, Andy Kurtz took 2 because their pit stops were about 10 seconds. So it looks like those guys have tires, but they just took the right sides, and then your top 4 here stayed out. So let's see what's going to happen. Let's see if these guys can. I told you already. Chuck Pegleg said in an interview that he thought everybody in here was a bunch of chumps, so he's going to come up here and see if he can race for the win.
Green.
Steve Logan gets a great restart. Pretty good restart for everybody else. We'll see what they do down in the first turn. Travis Beaver looking to the inside of Logan Sturgeon. Is Logan all over the back end of Chuck. Sort of a bottleneck after that to check up a little bit. So this 3 wide, Travis Beaver gonna kind of pinch down. Jason Warren does a smart thing, kind of backs out of it, but there's 3 wide behind them. Guys are gonna have to be careful. I know they're trying to get all they can get, but man, this is making me nervous. I don't know if y'all are. I don't like this. Oh, you see Logan Sturgeon gets into the wall a little bit. I don't know if he had a little bit of help. Oh, and he gets into the back of Chuck. Chuck just struggling a little bit, and we've got cars going everywhere here as guys are just trying to avoid the wreck. Oh, my goodness. I just kind of felt like it was going to happen at some point, and we'll go back and rewind this and see exactly what happened. Saw Chuck and Logan get up. You can see Chuck just kind of lose a little bit of momentum and gets back going here just on those old tires. You see 3 wide here as Zach Wittstein is, it looks like Chuck gets off of it a little bit more than maybe Logan expected, and then kind of drifts up in front of him and collects a couple more drivers. This guy's just blasting through there. Let's go back and just guys trying to make it through the mess. Once people start wrecking, these cars do not come to a stop. So very, very difficult. You're trying to say, are they going to clear out? Maybe I can get it figured out. Sometimes they don't clear out. What the heck is going on in chat? Guys, if you just joined us, 34 laps, almost halfway, just a little under halfway. And, man, we've had some great racing tonight. Got a little squirrely there. Some guys have decided to stay out on old tires, trying to play the track position game, trying to find a little bit a way to get through the field. 43 cars is hard to manage. You've never raced in 43. I don't think I've ever been in a 43 car field, to be honest. So you see the Lucky Dog coming through there. Looks like Brandon Wallace. If you've never been in a 43 car field, I think the strategies are just so hard to try to pick up on, because if you pit wrong, if you do something wrong, just a little bit of slip, a little bit of mistake, you end up, at the back of the pack, and man, it's just impossible to drive up through 40 cars. So it's just Steve Loving, Keith King, Taylor, Travis Beaver. These guys are making strategy calls. So did Chuck and and Logan, making strategy calls to try to get themselves up towards the front. That's less cards you have to pass. And so guys are making some strategy call, trying to find the way up towards the front, figure out how to get passing does look pretty difficult. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It takes somebody to mess up to really get a run. So it seems like you really have to take 3 or 4 laps to work on somebody, as Jason really was only only Jared Reid put about pressure on him about half a lap, and then he was able to reclaim it. So yeah, absolutely. Well, all my wishes have been satisfied in this race, as we've had a great race. We're under our 4th caution, but with 43 drivers, I'm definitely, my wish has been granted of at least some good green flag races, some guys all over the track, 3 wide, holding it together, and so they can sit on the sidelines. Longer caution here, as we got guys on lap down trying to get the wave arounds. The Lucky Dogs, all of the guys to pit. So a little bit longer caution than what we're used to. In chat, Garrett Kinder says Warren still has the ugliest scheme in the field. Well, I can tell you that's not true at all. That's a great looking scheme. He's like, colors? Nope. But I tell you who has the ugliest, and I'm gonna blast him right here. What the hell is this? That's unbelievable. Look at that base. I like the blue, the little teal looking blue, the orange and the red. I mean, it's a nice looking scheme, and then just Ariel everywhere. At least he spelled it right. He was spelling it Ariel for the longest. I was like, from the movie, from the Little Mermaid. But ooh, that's just ugly right there. So I think he's gonna take I'm gonna call him Mr. Irrelevant tonight. He's gonna win our Mr. Irrelevant Sabusky window tinting. Mr. Irrelevant right here. Is that paint scheme is definitely irrelevant. But I better get back up to the front, because we're about to get back to racing, as Steve Loving is out in front. You see that 32 machine that's been strong all night long out there on the outside of the 2nd row. Steve Loving gets a great start. Keith does as well. He gets a good start from being out on the outside. Let's see who can make their way to the front, and be careful doing it. Guys are being really aggressive, trying to position themselves. But, if your car's wrecked, you're not able to do it. Let's go on board, if we can, with Jason Warren, as we watch him make a pass on Keith King Taylor on those older tires, and he clears him. Going to try to work on Jared Reid here, as look at Travis Beaver in that Valvoline machine, taking it to the inside. Of course, he's on two new tires, as he slides up in front of Steve Loving. As look at this run that Jason Warren is getting. You see that quad over. I love showing that. As the quad over, you see he's trying to get position for the first turn. Oh, Travis Beaver gets a little bit loose. Jason Warren going to take advantage of that and pick Steve Loving, go to the outside. But Jared Reid going to the lead with a strong move on the outside, as Travis Beaver getting a little bit loose. I've been told by drivers that if you want to loosen these cars up, try to take 2 tires, because that helps loosen it up, as these setups are normally pretty tight. So Travis Beaver trying that strategy, and it's working good. He's actually, he's doing a great job. He made a pass for the lead, but still seems like the 4 tires are going to be superior. Look, Ronnie Osmer getting all over the back bumper of Jason Warren, going to give him a little bump, maybe going into the first turn. Yeah, I wish y'all could have made it as well. So put Jared Reid up to the front, as we're going to go to the speed camera, and let's see if we can watch some of this action. check in on William Griffith back here, who was a big mover early in this race, but has dropped back just a little bit, but still running inside the top 20 there, sandwiched between Ray Page and Daniel Cunningham. So still having a great run, just trying to find that little bit extra. Right now, our biggest mover is Cindy Taylor in the Air Force 97 machine, chrome machine. And you see Steve Loving right in front of her as you're starting to see you just can't stay out on old tires. It just has not worked, no matter if it's 5, 6, 7, 8 laps. It's a good try. It's a good strategy call, but you can definitely tell it's hurting these guys. They're trying to make their way past them. Somebody gets into the wall there. Let's go back up front and see what's going on with the lead. Jason Warren seems to be starting to hunt down Jared Reid. You know, Jason's had a tough string of races here lately. I really hope that he has a good run tonight. It's been really, really fast. If he can put together a full clean race, I think this guy is somebody to look at as fighting for this win. But you know, right now it's a toss-up. I cannot tell you who I think is going to win, as I just see speed all over the track. Jared Reid, just a monster move to get up to the front. Jason Warren's been leading all race. Ronnie Osmer started on the outside front row, our points leader, who has dominated the last couple races. Zach Wittstein, Travis Beaver, Andy Kurtz. I mean, good grief. Matt Telder making his way up towards the front. Kind of talk about Matt Telder just a little bit in that 22 Federal Express machine. I like that paint scheme. Good grief. Oh, Cindy Taylor. Somebody gets real close. They lean in over on each other just a little bit. They're able to keep it going. Let me go back and look at this paint scheme, man. I tell you what, this guy surprises me every week. Oh, man, I like that. Good grief. Well, I hate to give it to him 2 weeks in a row, but, man, I got to tell you, he's going to be our Smil Racing Design's best paint scheme. Man, I like that. Man, whoever does Matt Telder's paints, man, hey, big ups, big props, man. That's fantastic. Anyway, looks like we had Kyle Roberts with some sort of issue. Let's go back and check see what happened to him. All right, SDK, let's get it on the right driver. Kyle Roberts here. Oh, just gets loose off the corner. As well, a couple guys do. What in the world? Looks like they were all synced up there. Just gets loose, gets into the wall, no damage. Everybody seems to does a little Austin Powers up against the wall. Ooh. All right, well, we're under our fifth caution now on lap 45, so we are over halfway. Guys coming down pit road. Well, no surprise there as we see everybody coming down pit road. And I don't think we'll see anybody try I think, as soon as I say that, somebody does. But I think if you're going to do some sort of strategy call, I think it's still too early. I think you're going to want to maybe take two tires late. We saw Travis Beaver make that work. So you're going to maybe take it later in the race. And I think no tires is never a call. I think you got to come down and get tires. We'll see who decides to take 2 tires here, maybe 4 tires. I think it's too early to take huge gambles, especially if you're up at the front. You just need to play it safe, be smart. As looks like Ronnie Osborne is going to win the battle off pit road. Good grief. Man, what a monster 21-second pit stop. So definitely the dice roll worked out in his favor. You see Jason Warren. So he's able to pass him there on pit road. That's huge. But yeah, I think Travis Beaver showed that 2 tires does work there, and he's able to keep up. 4 tires though, or no tires, definitely not the answer. I don't think you can run more than 5 laps and take no tires. I think you got to come in and get something. As that has pretty much hurt everybody. Now, if you're in the far back, you might take no tires, get out front, drop back a few spots, and then hope a caution comes out and you can kind of maintain that position. But that's a gamble I'm just not willing to take, I don't think, because you're going to have the guys brand new tires all over your back bumper. There's just so much that can go wrong as guys are trying to win this race. It's a dangerous thing for sure. But so far, Brandon Wallace has stayed out. He pitted last on lap 33, so about our last caution. So he's going to have about 8 laps on his tires, and we've seen this multiple times already. Just hasn't worked. And as good a racer, a race winner in this series as Brandon Wallace is, I just think it's not going to work at all. So the big thing that it does is him not pitting traps these guys a lap down. You start to see Ryan Pendleton dropping back, Phil Hitman Monzo, Todd Schott, these guys a lap down, having to drop back to the end of the field. So it keeps those guys from getting their lap back. You know, if you're Jason Warren, you're praying. You might be even getting on Racecom saying, "Hey, Brandon, let's get a good jump, get a good start, and let's get going." Third place usually has a pretty good advantage as they get to be right behind the leader as he gets a jump, and he's going to need it because Mr. Osmer on the outside showing a lot of speed, a lot of metal. I tell you what, a lot of racecraft. Being able to get through this field, get back up to the front. One of the few that is able just to been able to race his way through the field up to the front at least. So kind of feel like I need to catch my breath and stop talking a little bit because this is exciting as hell. We're going to go green on lap 49, so not much time left. Going to have about 26 laps to go when we go back green. So if you're going to position yourself, if you're not in the top 10, you might be running out of time. So we're definitely going to see the intensity pick up. I think we're probably going to see, if I had to guess, maybe 2 or 3 lap spurts here as guys are going to start making wild moves. It's just inevitable as guys start to feel that that race starting to slip away a little bit. But Brandon Wallace leading us down in that Chevy Monte Carlo. Gets a good jump. He does. Jason Warren gets a little bit squirrely there, but it seems like he does get a good enough start. But Ronnie Osmer and Jared Reid on that high side. Let's see if Jason Warren can make that low line work. We saw a couple guys try that early. Oh, as Ronnie Osmer gets a little bit loose, but able to hang on to it. He is out of shape. Jared Reid going to go down to the bottom. That's going to give second place to Jason Warren. So Jason Warren going to try to take advantage of these new tires in that as Brandon Wallace showing, damn, he's driving the hell out of that car. He drives way into the okay, I see now what was going on. Gets a little bit of the wall, and he's going to go lose a little bit of momentum. But here we are up front. These heavyweights are going to battle it out for the win for the Kindaaaar 100. As we're going to see what Ronnie Osborne can do against Jason Warren. Jason Warren's been able to hold off any kind of attack for the lead on the track itself. Let's see if he's able to hang on here. I think this battle for the lead is going to keep going. Got somebody down low. Jonathan Cofield, a little bit out of shape there. Able to get it wrapped back up. So, got a little 3 wide situation as Chris Reese gets down on the door of Cofield. Oh, no, Ronnie Osmer going around again, but he's able to save it. Garrett Kindaaaar type of save right there as he was all the way sideways and was able to hang on to it, but he's going to lose all the spots that he's gained up to this point. He's about to lose another as that momentum is just gone. Matt Telder trying to sneak his nose in there, so that gives command of the lead still to Jason Warren, but Jared Reid showing a lot of speed as well as Zach Wittstein gets a little bit of the wall. You know, I'm pleasantly surprised that 3 lap spurts has not happened. Jared Reid just all over the back end. Let's go. Let's try to go on board with him. Let's see what it looks like. So he's trying to figure out a way to get around. Looks like he's just trying to put pressure on Jason. We've seen guys be able to get on the back bumper. He gets a little run here. William Griffin looks like he's had a crash. Did Jason get a little bit of the wall? I can't tell. That car looked a little weird. As we're on board with Jared Reid, as he does get a good run off the corner, is he going to be able to make that stick on the bottom? That's going to be the trick here as they go down into turn 3. But caution is out. Who was ahead when the caution came out? That's going to be a huge caution there, as it looks like Dakota Camper involved, Jonathan Cofield involved. Let's go back and see what happened if we can. Oh, Travis Beaver up on the high side. This was running for like 6th or 7th, and they come off the corner, and Beaver just gets a little bit loose and collects that right rear. Beaver goes in the wall, Camper goes around, and guys just all over the place trying to avoid him, and just nowhere to go. Let's go on board with Jonathan Cofield here. We go back and see what that looked like as he came in towards the end of it. You see him wrecking? You see Camper had him locked down, just trying to get it wrapped up. Everybody driving down to the bottom, and Cofield here, he decides he's going to try to the top side, and there was a car there. So, so unfortunately, a little accident after the accident. But definitely, oh no. Woo, this is going to change some things, I think, as I don't know, but I think Jared Reid may feel a little lonely out here as he decides to stay out, and the whole field comes down pit road. I would imagine a few two-tire stops are going to be made here, but Jared Reid sees nobody in the distance as he is the only guy to stay out here. So let's see what happens as you've got a lot of two-tire takers. Chris Reese, Ray Page, Brandon Pollock, Mike Steffen, Cindy Taylor. Maybe the list of the broadcast. I said down towards the end of the race, 2 tires may be the call. Jason Warren decides to take 4 tires along with Osmer, and that's going to put him back to 7th place. So, man, they're having a great run right now, but that's going to put a lot of cars between him and Jared Reid. So just to give you an idea of what kind of tire situation, we've seen guys pit almost every lap, every 10 laps. And you've seen what's happened if somebody stays out, just how much those tires are going to mean as far as just raw speed. And so Jared Reid elected to stay out. So he pitted on lap 45. So that's about 9 laps ago. So we've already seen what old tires are going to do. I think he's in trouble. I think these guys who took and gals who took 2 tires, I think that's probably a pretty good little move there. Maybe a little bit too early, but we'll see. I'll tell you what, let's go to commercial. Let's take a break. I've been talking almost nonstop, and let's take a little commercial break.
The most wanted criminal in the universe.
It's not human.
Has come to Earth.
Step out of the car slowly.
Now, nothing can stop it. Except the cops who followed it here.
Am I crazy, or does this seem just a little bizarre?
You think it's over now?
The Hidden.
You're wrong.
Rated R. Starts this Friday at a theater near you.
This Bud's for all that you do.
Today a landscaper, tomorrow a college student. Yep. Finally took your advice, Mike.
You taught him
Already you're
all
smart.
you knew. They say he's a lot like you. Yeah, you make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's to you, Beechwood Age, for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
To a future architect. And to a brother who made it possible.
This Bud's for you.
Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Bayou Country. Places like this make you glad you take your car to Mr. Goodwrench, the GM service specialist. Mr. Goodwrench uses genuine General Motors parts, the kind your car was designed to use. Because Mr. Goodwrench knows in places like this, the last thing you need to worry about is your car. Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
Well, all right, we're back just in time to go back green. Going to have 18 laps to go at the drop of the green flag. And, boy, I'm excited to see the finale of this race. There's so much drama that's happened. A lot of really, really amazing racing. Very, very impressed. And here at the end, still got guys trying tire strategy. I think 2 tires has shown to be a decent call. So Reid here in that 5 machine on no tires, and then a gaggle of 2 tires back to Jason Warren, who's on 4. So let's see what happens. It's going to be exciting. I cannot wait to call this. Oh, Mike Steffen does not get going. That's going to usually causes a wreck, as Ronnie Osborne is going to go 3 wide here on Jason Warren, as Steffen just did not. So there's a block down to the apron. That is scary. Ronnie Osmer, big props for keeping that car low and keeping the race going. Let's go back up front. Reid on those no tires, man. I tell you what, showing a lot of speed. So, and caution is out. Dakota Camper. Well, let's see if we can get this to work. Hang on a sec. Oh, Dakota. Oh, this is the old wreck. Man, I'm not doing a good job. Looks like Henry Gherardini may have self-cleared a little bit over Charlie Gates and just collects a few guys. Oh, Sam Wittstein, nowhere to go. Just so hard to slow these cars down. Keith Lickenwalker, Wallner with the same thing. So another caution, gonna give these guys something to think about. Reid showed a lot of speed there with not coming in and getting tires, with 9-lap older tires, just pulling a gap on these guys with 2 tires. Well, tires make a huge difference, but you still got to drive the car. So Jared's showing that he is bad fast. And we saw Jason Warren, Ronnie Osmer fighting really hard, trying to defend those positions, knowing that you gotta go now, get back up to the front through these cars. So trying to make their way. Jason really got a bad start because Mike Steffen just either missed a shift or just didn't go, or not sure what happened. So the bottom line had to check up, and guys are ready to go. Those checkups can be detrimental here towards the end of the race, because guys are not willing to lift and lose 2 or 3 spots because it's so hard to get them back. So really good for Reid. He's happy to see that, as that keeps that gap of cars between him and Jason Warren and Ronnie Osmer, as you could definitely see those two were racing their guts out, racing each other. Everybody races differently, but those two ought to work together, knowing how fast they are, try to get back up to the front. You get over there and racing each other, and not that I guess I shouldn't criticize guys that are faster than me, but if they just work together, they could easily make it through this field and get up there and find the lead. Definitely don't want to be wrecking each other back here for 7th place. Get up front. Both of them get up front, and y'all wreck each other. That's what I want to see. Good, clean racing, though. Ronnie got pushed down to the apron a little bit. It's hard to really see. I didn't see all of it, but he was on the apron, did a great job of holding on to it, backing out, and staying in the fight, man. So Ronnie's showing a lot of really good racecraft. And we'll go ahead and pull up the points and look at them. We pulled it up early. Let's pull them up again, just see where everybody sits. And we got a couple drop weeks. So Ronnie Osmer's sitting up. This is before the race, not live, not current. But Ronnie up there has had a great start to a season. Reid as well, winning at Daytona. Andy Kurtz has had a fantastic season. And he is, where is Andy Kurtz? Oh, he's running 12th back here in that Valvoline 8 machine. Josh Oswald, we haven't really talked about him that much, but he's back here in that 17 red machine, running in 19th. Started all the way in the back, but is keeping that car clean, running inside the top 20. Travis Beaver, we already saw him have an incident, so he's back here in 29th in that Valvoline 114 machine. Matt Telder, we've talked about him. He's the Smeal Racing Designs paint scheme of the race winner again, two weeks in a row, so great job by him. He has had a great run up to the 11th position. So guys who've have done really good in the points are having decent days. And Jason Warren there, he is in 14th. He's missed a race. So expect to see that change as drop weeks start to come into effect later in the season. We're on race number 4 of 15, so still a long way to go. And we're still on race number 4, still putting 43 cars on the track. So, and you see why? You see why the guys are these cars are fun to drive. These guys know how to wheel them. They can definitely produce a lot of drama. It's fun to broadcast, and I can just only imagine how much fun it is to race here. Could probably be frustrating if you're back in the middle of the field, and especially if you get caught up in an accident. But just so much opportunity for good racing. If you're not an alien, if you're, maybe a mid-pack type of driver, you're gonna have guys all around you that you can race and have a good time. But right now we're talking about Jared Reid. We're talking about Chris Reese, Ray Page, Brandon Pollock, your top 4, Mike Steffen in 5th there. Let's see if Mike can get a better restart here as the pace car comes off for 14 laps to go, coming to 13. As Ray Page does back up that middle line again as he kind of fell asleep on that start. But Jared Reid, another great restart. These guys are going to be battling side by side. But Osmer and Warren, that's where I'm going to be at right here. As we watch these guys 3 wide here. Oh, a net code there. Sidney Taylor. Oh, no, and they do wreck. Oh, man. Go back and watch that. You see, they were close 3 wide, and just a net code there for Cindy. They almost had it fixed up, and yeah, there's so much to break down there. It's just, oh man, they're just trying to find with 13 laps to go. Just not a lot of room given there. I think they were doing a great job. I think net code is what did that. So Cindy, if you go back and watch that, great job saving it. And you see Ronnie just gets a little bit loose, probably trying to stay off of Cindy there. And once he gets a little bit sideways, collects it and just gets into the Jason Warren's right rear. So just really tough racing here at the end of the race, man. It's really hard to say. I mean, that's all Netcode's fault right there because they were doing a great job. Some people say you shouldn't be 3 wide, but hell, it's almost 10 laps to go. I think everything was good until that Netcode happened. So, yeah, I mean that's just hard racing. So those drivers may not see it that way, but if they go back and watch it, they'll see that Netcode started it and they all just kind of finished it. Yeah, I'm an expert in Netcode now. I see it from a mile away. When that car jumps like that, especially in the turn, there was about a 2-foot gap there between the cars. That might be about a foot. But they say if you're close enough that causes Netcode, you're probably too close. But I really can't fault those two. Knowing that they were probably the fastest car on the track, trying to make something happen. I wonder if they'll be thinking to themselves, was it worth it? We could have got up to the front probably. So I'm not sure if it was, but we move on. Jared Reid, I said I didn't think that staying out strategy was going to work, but so far it's working out perfectly as he is being able to stay out of the mess. Probably knew some guys were going to stay out. Love to talk to him if he does win this race and see what his thoughts were. Maybe he thought guys were going to take 2 tires and so decided to stay out, keep that track position. So we'll have to talk to him about it and see what his thoughts are. So, I had Jason Warren to win this race. I think he showed a lot of speed. Osmer definitely was going to fight it out. And I thought with these tire strategies that they were in the best position. But like I said, they couldn't get up there and wreck each other, get up to the front and wreck each other. But just trying to get through the field as quick as possible, and got in some trouble. So Jared Reid looking like a genius up front. not that many laps to go, so I don't know if guys are going to take any more tires. The first car on 4 fresh tires is Ronnie Osmer, of course, who probably went in and got this faster pair with Jason Warren behind him. So those two are gonna be on the freshest tires for this last little 8-lap run they're probably gonna have. But sitting back in 23rd and 21st, or 22nd, 21st, excuse me. So probably out of the race, probably not going to get this win. Just need to be smart, stay out of trouble, and get the best finish you can. Get back to the top 10. I think that's probably a pretty good goal, but you never know. One little mistake up here up front is all it could take, and those guys will be right back in it. Yeah, Ratchet Miller says Reid knew those cautions were going to play in his favor. I think you're right. I think he got me. I thought, man, that's a bad call, and now he's looking like a genius. But still still a lot of racing left, as we're going to have 8 laps to go when we go back green. Jared Reid, Ray Page, Chris Reese, Brandon Pollock, Matt Tilder, Mike Steffen, your top 5. Outside of that, we got Matt Tilder, Andy Kurt, Steve Loving, Zach Wittstein, and Brandon Wallace, your top 10. So I think pit strategy is all out of. I don't think they come in and pits no matter how many cautions they're going to have. We're going to see who's going to bring home the victory of the Kindaaaar 100. Pace car is off. Jared Reid gets a great start there, but Chris Reese does as well. I tell you, Jared didn't get as good of a start as he's had. So let's see what happens here as these guys go down into turn 1. Ray Page gets off the gas, got Brandon Pollock all over the back end. Matt Tilder going to go through the middle, but Ray Page going backwards a little bit, trying to get back focused here, as we've got a huge gaggle of cars. I don't know how well this is going to end, as we've got all kinds of tires all over. You see Andy Kurtz going through the middle. Oh, he looks a little bit sideways. Matt Tilder trying to get under Ray Page. 3 wide here for 5th place. Matt Tilder hanging on to it so far. If he can get clear of those 2 drivers. Oh, man, what a great move through the middle Matt Tilder does. So he's going to jump up to the outside and try to work around. Oh, as Mike Steffen gets up into the groove. And that's what I get for talking about him. Let's see what happened there. Let's go back and check and see. Yeah, going down to that corner, he's up on the high side. And Steffen just kind of slides up in front of him. You can't do that. You slide up in front of somebody here with this little laps to go, you're not going to get a whole lot of grace. Just trying to get all he can get. Just slides up a little bit. Definitely not on purpose. Just gets a little tight there on the entry and had to slide up. So we're under our 9th caution. But 9 cautions, 43 drivers at Atlanta in the 87 car. I'll take it up every day of the week here on Rebel Racing Network. This is the kind of stuff that I like to see. A lot of drama, a lot of guys probably not going to be too happy. But I tell you who's happy is Jared Reid, as these cautions are really playing out in his favor. The new tires not able to make it up back to him as of yet. Ronnie Osmer was able to make up quite a bit of time on that. See if this even works. Never tried doing this. And that's why we never tried doing it. We watched Ronnie Osmer here on that last restart. He was able to get all the way up to 13th place before that accident happened. He dives down to the inside, was able to make up a few more spots there. Now we do have 2 green-white checkers, so Jared if I was in Jared's position, I'd feel really, really good. But if we get both of those green, white, checkered, I think it could be tough to kind of hang on to it. But he's been getting really good starts. I think it's going to be tough for guys to really get to him because you gotta really get to somebody's back bumper. And while these cars have a lot of speed, they just seem to lack a little bit of the torque that you might need to really get a run on somebody. So you have to really plan your passes, and it takes a couple laps to really set that up. We saw Jared Reid trying to pass Jason Warren, had the same issue trying to get a run on him. That bottom side just doesn't get a good run off the corner. Well, I'll tell you what, I got a couple more commercials. We're getting ready to come to the 1 to green. Let's go ahead and knock some of these out, and we'll take a breather for this last little run to the finish.
Mom, how did Planners get his popcorn so light and fluffy?
It's a secret. Love that aroma.
But Mom, how does Planners get his popcorn so fluffy and light?
Well, dear, they use only the best quality corn. But of course, that's what you'd expect of Planters.
Dad, did they have Planners popcorn when you were a kid?
No, Jenny, you're the lucky one.
Mom, is it possible for Planners popcorn to be too light and fluffy?
Planters popcorn, so light and fluffy you'll get carried away.
Well, all right, we got that 1 to green, and we are going to see the conclusion of this fantastic race. There's been quite a few cautions, but I got to say this has been a lot of fun to watch and a lot of fun to broadcast so far. We're going to see if we're going to be able to get to that white flag. If they get to the white flag, the green-white checker won't matter. But if they don't get there and a caution comes out, we'll rack them up and we'll do it again. If we have to do it, we'll do it one more time. So, man, I just don't know what to expect here. Jared Reid, while has done a great job, is still on about 10 lap older tires than the guys behind him. They are on 2 tires, and the first 4-tire stop, I think, is Matt Telder there in that 22 machine. So, Jared's probably been feeling good for a while, but I think that 22 is somebody to be worried about. But we're going to find out, see what happens here as pace car getting ready to take the left turn down to pit road. Jared Reid's going to have to get a good start here, and he does. Gets a great jump, but so does Matt Telder in the Federal Express 22 machine. The Smil Racing Designs paint scheme of the race winner. Is Matt going to be able to clear Chris Reese here? He takes sort of a high arc, pushes Chris Reese out of the turn a little bit, trying to get that little advantage. As Chris Reese going to hold really strong on the outside, get that car wound up. As you see 3 wide back here between Steve Loving, Andy Kurtz, Zach Wittstein, and Brandon Pollock. So, and Matt Telder gets sideways, and oh my goodness, there it is. Jason Warren able to sneak through there. Ronnie Osmer collected as well. Travis Beaver, Brandon Wallace seemed to be where it started. As my goodness, it's just a mess, and we did not make it back. So we will go to our first green-white checker as Brandon Wallace goes into pit road. Let's see what happened. Let's back it up because there's way too much to try to find out where exactly that happened. You see Osmer having to check up here as Steve Loving gets out of the groove, maybe? No, he's good. Brandon Wallace just goes down low trying to keep Osmer. I think that's what happened there as we go back and check that again. Looks like going into the turn, Brandon Wallace saw Osmer getting a good run and goes down to throw a late block there. Pretty clean block, nothing out of ordinary, but he goes down. When you enter the corner in the bottom, especially in these cars, they just don't turn in well enough. And so entering at the bottom, you could tell if we went on board with him, he has got that wheel probably cranked. Let's actually go on board. entering in. He does let off. Just the car just won't turn. He's giving it all the wheel he can get. Just nothing left, and gets into Steve Loving there. And it is just a mess. A lot of cars to go. Oh, poor Griff almost missed it and slides in and pancakes the side of Brandon Wallace's car. So we get another breather, but we'll take our first green-white checker. We'll sneak in here. Yep, green-white checker, 1 of 2. Well, let's check in on some drivers as we're I still got a few more commercials, but let's I just want to highlight a couple guys who are having great runs. Jason Lottridge, after being caught having a little incident early on in the race, has been able to work his way up to 12th. So he's having a great run. Matt Clemon having a great run, up 28 spots from where he started, running inside the top 10. Josh Oswald, Mr. Consistency, Mr. Where the hell did he come from? Taking over Garrett Kindaar's title as he's up 28 spots inside the top 10, doing what he has to do. He's last season's champion, so he knows how to get it done. He doesn't have to win all the races. He just needs to win the championship. That's, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You don't get any wallets. You don't get a nice custom leather wallet from Kyle Roberts by winning races. You get it by winning a championship. So he's trying to get that wallet. Brandon Pollock, though, taking those 2 tires up 17 spots, been able to hold steady there inside the top 10, just right outside the top 5. So guys having some great races, taking advantage of some issues that we've got. We've got a couple guys that are a lap down. Logan Sturgeon, Jonah Colbert having issues early in the race. Daniel Cunningham got caught up in one of the last few incidents. Justin Wickoff, Charlie Gates Jr., Sam Wittstein, Tyler Rice, Ryan Pendleton, William Griffith, Keith Lickenwallner, Phil Hitman Monzo making his day, but still running. Todd Schott and Vernon Reese, your lap down. So we have 28 cars still on the lead lap. And we get the 1 to green. Is Jared Reid going to try to close this out? First attempt of 2 green-white checkers if we need them. If we go around, we get the white flag, we will finish the race after the next caution. So if we don't make it to the white flag, we'll do it all over again. It took 2 green-white checkers last week. I'd be surprised if we only got away with just using 1. So they come down the backstretch. This is the worst thing if you're Chris Reese, Matt Telder, Jared Reid, Zach Wittstein. You're just thinking. You got a whole lap, 2 or 3 laps of just riding around at 60 miles an hour, just thinking about what you're going to do, how you're going to make this work. And at the end of the day, you can do all the planning, do all the thinking, but you got to react in real time, and that's what's about to happen here. We know Jared Reid's probably going to get a good start. We've seen guys miss shifts last couple weeks, so got to get up through the gearbox as Jared Reid stacks the field up, and that's not going to be good. Don't like to see that at all, but gets a good restart. Chris Reese is going to clear as we've got guys wrecking in the back, so we're probably going to be under caution. There's a big wreck back here, and caution is out. Let's go back and watch that restart. Let's see what happened there, as there was a big checkup there on that inside line. Let's see if there's maybe some games being played. Watch this inside line here as they get ready to get going. Let's go on board and let's see if we can see if maybe the inside line was trying to go a little early. Yeah, good solid start. Looks like guys were just trying to get a little jump on it. So Jared Reid doing a great job there. Looks like guys were just expecting him to go a little bit too early. And then we saw the accident in the back. So we are on our second green-white checkered. The whole field didn't even make it across the line before they started wrecking. Yeah, I agree, Ratchet. I think you're absolutely right. Trying to get that little bit of advantage. That's going to hurt him, though. That's going to put him in 4th place. And I would much rather be in that 3rd position. But I don't fault him for trying, not one bit, because, man, you just not enough time to make something happen. You really got to get all you can get. So I don't blame him one bit. Well, let's get these last commercials out of the way.
Why is this man being so unfair to his wife? Enjoying his cold relief while she suffers, feeling no desire to sneeze while she stifles hers, without all the coughs and the runny nose that torture her night, resting in the same bed where she tosses and turns. Why? Because while she took a cold tablet, he took NyQuil. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head fever so you can rest medicine. Now a new cherry flavor, too.
When I just started out, I used to come down here. It's what they call the short track. It's kind of like the minor leagues in baseball. I couldn't afford to have any engine trouble back then, so I put my money down on Valvoline racing oil. These days, Valvoline gives me money to use their motor oil. Maybe they don't realize I'd be using it anyway. Let's let that be our little secret.
Valvoline. Motor oil is not just motor oil.
You could buy a $100,000 sweeper to clean up around your house.
Hey, look out, boys! Where are you driving? I'm coming through!
Sure, it cleans driveways and patios quickly and easily, but so does the Litter Critter from ShopVac. A revolutionary new way to clean dirt and debris from outdoor surfaces without electricity or batteries. And when you're finished, the Litter Critter stays out of your way.
You didn't try that, Herbert! I'm not crazy! I leased it!
The Litter Critter, a sweeping improvement from ShopVac.
What the hell was that? There's some crazy commercials back in the 80s, I tell you what. Well, I don't know if there's really much to talk about. I guess I just run out of things to say. I mean, Jared Reid has got control of this race, and if a caution comes out next, the next flag is going to end the race, whether it be a yellow or a checkered. So Jared Reid's got to be feeling really good. Chris Reese has made that high side work a couple times. Was able to hold off Matt Telder for about a half a lap. Was getting a good run on that top side. He's going to have to get a good start here. I've always thought it would be awesome just to see somebody jump the restart and try to time it just perfectly and get a good start. Because I think if Chris can do that in that Coors Light 62 machine, I think he's got something for him. But letting him get out front, it's a dangerous game. It's definitely not something that a lot of guys are willing to try, because if you beat him to the line, you get a black flag, and that's your race is over. At some point, I'd love to see somebody just try it. If you time it just right, man, you get out there and stay on his outside and get a good run. But gonna see it all played out live. Last green-white checker, this is it. So if we have a caution, it's over. So Jared Reid just wants to make it out front, get a good enough jump. That way he doesn't have to worry. Caution comes out, doesn't matter. So last attempt at the green-white checker for the Kindaaaar 100 at Atlanta. Pace car pulls off. Who is it going to be? Jared Reid, Chris Reese, Zach Wittstein, or somebody else? Who knows? Jared Reid gets a good start, but the other two do as well. He's going to have that advantage. If everybody keeps it together, we're going to stay up front and watch. As Matt Telder jumps down below Chris Reese, trying to get to that bottom. As we come through turns 1 and 2, we got cars all over the track, but we're going to stay here on the lead as Zach Wittstein trying to find his way to the front. Matt Telder has to get off the gas a little bit. Going down into 3 and 4, coming to the white flag. We'll have one more lap to go as Jared Reid has a really, really nice gap so far, but does Zach Wittstein have enough tires as caution is out? Oh, my goodness. We almost made it to the white flag, and caution is out, and that'll do it. That'll do it. So, as we have a big y'all, I can't even find my mouse. All right, there it is. We got guys still wrecking back here. Yeah, Ratchet Miller said if we have a caution. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Well, man, what an awesome race. Ended under caution. Had to use all 2 green, white checker and still ended under caution, but that's to be expected as it's a lot to ask guys trying to get all they can get to keep it together. So as the pace car leads Jared Reid across the line, and he is going to win the Kindaaaar 100. Zach Wittstein finishes second, Chris Reese third, Matt Telder fourth, and top 5 for Brandon Pollock. What a great race. I think it was, I got to admit, I was a little nervous because knowing how Atlanta went last season, and then when I joined the server and saw 43 cars on the track, I was extremely nervous. But these guys, 12 cautions, I think that that's a good number. We'd love to have none, but I tell you what, these guys put on a show. It's a lot of fun. A lot of guys making a lot of moves. Josh Oswald up 28 spots. Man, congratulations to him finishing in 8th. That's a hell of a finish starting in the back. Some great battles with Ronnie Osmer and Jason Warren. They may not be happy with each other, but I think to go back and look at it, it was just hard racing and just a lot of fun to watch. But Jared Reid with that call to take no tires, stay out while everybody else went in, turned out to be the winning call. So congratulations to him as we watch him do donuts here as the the original Rebels demo derby starts, as everybody congratulates each other, lets off a little bit of steam by just blasting each other. So, well, all right, well, let's go ahead and get these interviews going. As we get everybody in the waiting room, let's see if we can find, got somebody lagging behind Mr. Chris Reese. Get him up here in the booth. Chris Reese is Eddie. You got me?
Got you loud and clear, man.
Well, man, that was a great call, man, on those tires to get out front, be up at the front at least. I thought it was a pretty good call. I thought Jared was in trouble, but just the cautions just didn't give y'all enough time to try to run him down. Kind of talk me through your race, but also there at the end, just what you were thinking as far as trying to get up there and get this win.
Well, for most of the race, I kept coming in, taking 4 tires, and every time I'd take 4 tires, I'd lose 2 or 3 spots. So finally there, I think it was around lap 60-ish, somewhere in that area, I said, man, I got to take 2 and try and get some of this track position back, and just happened to come out second. And I was like, well, I just can't stop now.
Well, I mean, it worked out pretty good. I mean, do you think you had anything for Jared? I mean, you'd have to get a really good start and just hope that the cautions didn't come out, but they did. That kind of makes it hard to mount any kind of comeback on a leader that gets the jump on the restart. I mean, did you have anything at all? Was the high line working for you, low line? But what were you going to try to do to maybe get the win?
I just couldn't take off with him. I'm not exactly sure how he was getting the run he was on the starts, but he could always pull me a car length and a half. But if I was trying to time him up, and he just kept changing his timing just a little bit every time he'd start to keep me off balance, and which, as a leader is what you're supposed to do. And it kept me off balance just enough to where I at least have a nose up alongside of him going into 1. And I think if I could have got to that point, I could rock that high line through 1 and 2 on those starts, and I could have at least drag raced him down the back straightaway.
Well, I got to say, it was fun watching you up there racing. Y'all put on a good show, good, clean racing up there whenever y'all got out. The tire situation, some of it worked, some of it didn't. But 2 tires, did you take 2 tires or 4? You say you took 2, didn't you? So, I mean,
on the
2 tires.
Stop I made, I took 2.
Yeah, so 2 tires seemed to work pretty good.
Yeah, we'd only ran about 7 laps since the last time I'd pitted for tires, and I took 4 that time. And it only dropped my left sides down to around a 93% or so when they weren't hot. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try 2 and just see how it works. And it just happened to work out right for me tonight.
Well, all right. Well, congratulations on the third place finish. It was a fantastic race for you. You got any sponsors, any shout outs, anybody you want to thank?
Well, first off, Valvoline for sponsoring the series here, and you up in the booth for us, calling this dude, Refab Inc., wife for putting up with me sitting in this rig at all hours of the day and night to get to where I can run in the top 3 and get to talk to you at the end of the race. And that's about it.
Well, all right, man. Well, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
All right, you have a good one.
Well, all right. Well, let's bring our second place finisher up here, Zach Wittstein. Man, Zach, congratulations on a second place finish. Hard fought, it seemed like. You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, that was it was fun to watch. I don't know if it was fun out there or not, or if it just hectic, just cars around you at all times. It looked like there on that last restart, man. It looked like you got a good run. You were making those tires work. Did you think you had something for him if it would have stayed green?
Nah, he I don't want to say I'd worn out my tires by then because we had so many cautions, but I think the tires didn't matter for 2 laps. I think it was just good enough for him to stay out that in the lead for that long. So I don't think it would have mattered. I didn't feel like I was getting any ground on him through 3 and 4. So I mean, shout out to him. He earned that win. He had a great strategy call. I screwed up my pit stop and fell back to 13th. Like you said, it was hard fought. I had to make some moves that could have wrecked me, but they didn't, and it worked out.
Well, I mean, to come home with a second place finish out of 42 drivers, that's very, very impressive. I mean, tell me about the racing out there. What was it like? I mean, guys all night long were having these weird tire strategies. Everybody was trying different things at different times, so it seemed like it was sort of a kind of a yo-yo type of race. I mean, what was it like from your perspective? Kind of fighting through traffic and trying to stay in the top 10.
Yeah, I mean, it was super weird. Even 1 lap, 2 laps can take 4% out of your right front and heat it up a lot. So I think that's when a lot of the 2-tire takers did that. Was we had a 2-lap run, and me and Jason Warren took 4 and a lot took 2. And it's so tough to pass on the inside here. It's so much easier to get a run off the top. And so if you didn't have a substantial amount of laps, differentiated between drivers, it wasn't really going to matter. So I do think my 4 tires helped me there in the end on that last little spurt to get up to second. But man, like you said, it was super weird. It felt like 2 tires wasn't going to work, and for a lot of people, it somehow did.
Well, all right. Well, hey, second place, man, still a great run. You got anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to shout out?
Yeah, absolutely. You for taking over Rebels Racing Network and doing a hell of a job with it. So shout out to you for that. Goatlocker Racing and Valvoline for sponsoring the series. I said it, I think, at Daytona, or I can't remember, but it's a heck of a thing to have Valvoline sponsoring the series, especially the 87 series. My mom and dad, the whole league, putting on a good show, especially the big showing we get in this series. It seems like everybody shows up just because of how fun it is to drive the car. So everybody in the league, Griff for taking over the reins a while back and doing a great job with the league, and just wish everybody a Merry Christmas if you celebrate it.
Well, all right, man. We'll hopefully we'll see you next week if work permits, and so we're glad to have you this week, and good race and good finish in second, man.
Appreciate it, Eddie. Have a good night.
Well, all right. Well, the man of the hour, Jared Reid, has been waiting. When you're the winner, you have to wait a little bit longer. But here he is, Jared Reid. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, man. Wow. What a race, dude. I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to tell on myself. I gave you no credit there for staying out and not coming in and getting tires while the whole field did. And you know what? You made me look like an idiot, and I'll take it, man. You know what? I'll take it on the chin. You made me look like a fool, man. What a great call. Definitely the call of the race, staying out front, keeping that track position. Tell me about your race, though, man. Like, tell me, kind of walk me through your whole race and just what you were trying to do, battling up there, man, up in the top 3 pretty much all night.
Yeah, I had good speed up there in the top 3, but, Jason and Ronnie and those guys, they were pretty quick up there, and I kept on losing spots on pit road, and so it was kind of tough to make those passes again on the track. So once it came time under that caution, just stayed out. I thought some more people would stay out and, give me a little bit of a buffer, but everybody taking 2 tires helped me out, and then all the wrecks.
Yeah. Well, you were, you won at Daytona, and Ronnie Osborne's kind of been on a roll here, and he was caught up in a couple things tonight. But I think you were just as fast. I mean, you, Jason Warren, Ronnie Osborne, man, y'all were laying down some flyers. Who could have stayed green? I would love to see how that played out. Kind of tell me about how the car was driving. You saw guys all over the track. I mean, the bottom line, the top line, the middle. Well, where did you find speed? Where were you able to make some passes? And tell me about trying to make a pass on what it seemed like to be a very, very hard track to pass at.
Yeah, it was tough to pass at, but you could run all over the track. You saw a bunch of guys getting loose down there on the bottom. It was really tough to get the run off the corner down there. And so most of the time I tried to stay up towards the middle or the high side. You could kind of get some big runs coming off the high side, but then it was hard to get going again around them. So just kind of staying in the middle, trying to save tires and stuff. That's where we were the whole race.
Well, hey, look, masterful strategy, great call, man. I mean, shows your racing intellect, man, to make that call. When I said, man, I just don't know if that's the right call, and you made it work, man. Great job, great win, 2 wins on the season. Should jump you up, catch you up with Ronnie, who had a little bit of trouble tonight, so it should bump y'all a little bit closer. So looks to be exciting as we're not even halfway through the season. But man, congratulations on the win. It's always awesome, especially to win in a 42 car field, come away as the winner. That's awesome. So you got anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs, any sponsors?
Yeah, we'll go all the guys at Rubbins Racing. All three of us had good finishes tonight, but we were missing Aaron, so hopefully he'll be back next week. But it was a good night for us.
Well, all right. Well, man, congratulations again. Man, hope to see you next week and see if you can defend this race's title. So congratulations again, Jared. Jared Reid, your winner tonight in the Kindaaaar 100. Congratulations to him. So I tell you what, a pretty fun race. It started off really awesome. And then as the intensity picked up, guys were doing different tire strategies. You can kind of see the effect of maybe some guys staying out on tires, how that works out as guys are trying to make their way back to the front. So it made it really, really difficult. And but I got to say, you might look at this and think, man, 13 or however many cautions it was, that's a lot. But, man, 42 drivers at Atlanta in an 87 car, I got to tell you, this is a pretty damn good race. So lots of fun, really, really fun to call. Guys all over the track making moves, putting on a show. And, of course, they always deliver. So definitely want to give a shout out to the Goatlocker boys again. Thank y'all for supporting this series, man. We couldn't do it without y'all. I think Mr. Dravick's on vacation. We had Ryan Pendleton from Goatlocker Racing in the field tonight. Got caught up in an incident early on. Finished 33rd, but man, it's always glad to have him. If we ever put these cars on dirt, he'll be up front. But definitely thank them. Flexible Freight Solutions, of course, Valvoline for sponsoring our series. It's super cool to have them a part of it. And you see a lot of love and support on track with the paint schemes. A lot of guys running Valvoline schemes. So definitely thank them. And want to thank all the admins. Want to thank David Jones for running race control tonight. 42 cars is hard to wrangle. He was doing it by himself tonight. So definitely a tough job, but thank him for doing that. All the admins that take care of this series and this league, William Griffith, Jonah Colbert, Garrett Kinder, Matt Clemon, Alex Veith, Josh Oswald, Brandon Wallace, Jason Warren, Tyler Gackey, and there's many more. There's a whole bunch that Kai Shepard for really leading the charge on a lot of marketing stuff. So there's some people I miss, but man, any admin, anybody who puts in a lot of work on this series, I mean, it's all member driven. And I tell you what, it's one of the best I've ever been in, one of the best I've ever been a part of. So definitely love racing here. It's definitely a privilege, and I want to thank all our veterans, police, firemen, first responders, and want to thank everybody that watched. Ratchet Miller, Matt Clemon. You know what? I don't know who DWN0283, but hey, look, I appreciate you being in chat. If I don't know who you are, I apologize. I'll try to learn it. Lawrence Brown in chat. Ratchet Miller, of course. Veeth, I don't know if it's Mike or Alex Veeth, but one of them. Garrett Kinder was in chat tonight. Kevin Kinder, of course. George Fernandez was watching, said he had to miss. Steve McDonald and Mike Hasty, if you're still watching. Man, thank y'all so much for the support. We had some good amount of viewers tonight. I'm sure a lot of people go back and watch it. And definitely appreciate y'all being a part, coming in the chat, chatting with me, man. Hopefully y'all have a good time. I think y'all do. And, man, we want to keep that going. So, man, another great night, Rebel Racing Network. I'm Eddie Smith, and we'll see you next week. Let's bring up the schedule. What is next week? We'll get this. Well, we'll leave all our sponsors up there. It's probably important. We'll get rid of the voice of and all that jazz. But you see, we're Atlanta, and we'll be off next week, and we will start back up at the first of the year. And I'm a little worried. We honestly thought, if I give you a little behind the curtain, though, we honestly did not expect to have more than 43 people trying to race in a series. Never had that issue before, never been a part of that. So it's an awesome problem to have. Really glad for all the support. But starting a new year, new me at Bristol for 100 laps. If there's 43 cars at Bristol for 100 laps, I don't know. I think I'll just leave the camera on and just walk away and just let the action take care of itself. 'Cause I have no idea how these cars are going to drive on Bristol. I have no idea how these drivers are going to take to it. I'm a little bit nervous, but excited all at the same time because I'm not in it. I'm just watching. So that's the best part. Then we'll go to Charlotte and see if Brandon Wallace can defend his Charlotte title. Pocono, Dover, I think those will be fantastic races. They put on a great show. Michigan, you cannot miss Michigan. You go ahead and mark it on the calendar, January 31st. Mark it on your calendar. Set it as your New Year's resolution to watch Michigan, because I think these cars and that track, man, they put on a great show. And then we hit a hell of a stretch at the end of the season. Rockingham, Nashville Fairgrounds, which you can't miss that one as well. Texas, Talladega, always unbelievable. North Wilkesboro, and in the series in March at Auto Club. So a lot of really great racing to go. Are we going to have 43 drivers all the way through the season? I don't know, but it should be fun to find out. So anyway, we'll see you next week. Congratulations again to Jared Reid and all the drivers in the top 5, top 10, and on. A lot of guys had some really good runs. People had some issues, fought back, had some really strong finishes, and that's always good to see. So, man, thank you all so much again, and we'll see you next week.